Hello everybody and welcome back to the CinePacks YouTube channel. Today we're going to be going over the Film Tear After Effects template from CinePacks. And I'm going to be showing you how to make this awesome title sequence right here. And then after that we're going to go ahead and do a simple looping effect, just adding this displacement effect to the footage like you see on the screen. So let's go ahead and jump into it and show you how to use this template. So when you first get the pack, you're going to need to unzip this file. So let's go ahead and click on it and just extract all. Once that's extracted, we'll double click on the folder and we can open up the template. Alright, so when we first open up this template, you're going to find that there's a README that is basically going to do exactly what I'm about to walk you through. So what we want to do first is duplicate one of these template layers. So I'm going to copy, Scratch 4 is one that I like a lot, and I'm going to duplicate it. And we're going to rename this to title, alright, because we're going to make a cool animated title with this. So let's go ahead and duplicate and open this title here. If we press play, you're going to see that there's a placeholder and it distorts and makes its effects properly. However, we want to replace it with our own footage. So let's go ahead and delete that placeholder layer. Let's go ahead and import our own footage into this template now. And I'm just going to drag it. Let's find which one I want to use. I'm going to use this one right here and just drag it underneath the adjustment layer. And automatically it's going to work. Now, the problem is our resolutions don't line up. So let's go ahead and right click on this and click transform and fit to comp. Now there's three settings that you may want to mess with. If we click on the displacement adjustment layer, you're going to see max horizontal displacement and max vertical displacement. Increasing or decreasing these will increase the intensity of the displacement. So if I bring this up, you're going to see it displaces a lot more. Or if I bring the vertical displacement down, it does it a lot less, or even in the opposite direction if you wanted to. However, I would consider that breaking the effect. Over here, we have blur radius of the camera lens blur. If you increase that, it will increase the amount that it blurs. So if we bring this even further up, you're going to see that it blurs a lot more, or you can turn the effect off completely if you wanted to. As for the rest of the settings, probably just leave those alone unless you wanted to really go into the nitty gritty. The final thing that you'll see is that there's slight discoloration. You can actually change that in the displacement layer right here. And there's the hue slider. So if we go ahead and just change the hue, you're going to see that it shifts to different colors. So here we can shift it into warmer tones if we wanted. It's very subtle. It shows up more apparently in different parts of the effect. All right, well, let's make a title introduction now. So let's move this clip. I want to have it kind of transition to where there's a lot of distortion. We're going to use that as a transition point. More color means more distortion. So right around here, I'm going to move this clip over and have it kind of start right there. If we press play, yeah, there's a decent amount of distortion right there. Actually, I might move it over a little bit further. Next, let's go ahead and replace this all with a title. So I'm going to right click and create new title. And we will name this Film Tear Presents. Perfect. And let's drag that underneath everything. Now, what's happening here? Well, you see the displacement map is set to tile anything. If we go right here, wrap pixels around, you'll see it's tiling anything that's underneath the adjustment layer. So we can either turn that off, which won't have a major effect on the displacement. You're just going to get stretching in some very rare scenarios, but for the most part, you won't notice it. Or if we wanted to, we could just pre-compose this layer. I'm going to go ahead and just under the displacement layer, just uncheck wrap pixels around. All right, let's right click, go to new, and let's add a solid black background. All right, so now when we play this, our effect works. I'm going to move to where it distorts, which is right around here, and I'm going to trim our clip, our title, so it pops up at that point. There we go, perfect. Possibly a little bit further, right around there. All right, and then I'm going to wait for another glitch, which occurs right around there. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this layer, and let's switch to another title and make a cool transition between the two titles. I'm going to press Alt bracket to trim that one. Then let's go to the next one right here, and then we'll add a new title, Scratch Effects. And now when we play that through, we get a cool tear effect. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just for a little bit of flair, let's add a lens blur. Lens blur to both of these. So we're going to go ahead and on this one add a blur radius of maybe 2, I think, and then copy that and add it to both layers. Perfect. And then at this point, our footage comes into play, which looks very cool. I'm going to go ahead and make that transition even more extreme though. I'm going to keyframe the displacement values here. We're going to go to right here, and I'm going to go ahead and increase these to very large amounts, or decrease that one since it goes in the negative direction. And then after a few frames, we'll animate it to go back down to negative 600 and 600, which are the defaults. So press play, and there you go. As you can see, we got a slightly more exaggerated tear to transition into. Okay, but what if I want to loop one of the effects? As you can see, I have 3 clips here, and if I were to drag them out, it goes further than the composition. Well, there's a few ways that you can do it. You can actually right-click on one of these, and if you've seen some YouTube videos, go do time remapping and put in an actual expression, but that's a little too complicated. What I want to do here is keep it simple. So let's go to Scratch 13. So if I open up our source maps and go down to Scratch 13, you're going to see that if I right-click on these and go to Interpret Footage, go to Main, at the bottom here, you can actually loop these. So let's loop it 100 times. Right now it just loops once. Let's loop it 100. And you can see right here, it now has started to extend outside of the timeline. Let's go to the next one. Go to the source footage, interpret, change that to 100, click OK. And the last thing to do is let's change our actual composition settings to now be 30. 30. By default, they're all of them are mostly 10 seconds long. Some of them, they vary in length, but 30 seconds will do for this one. So let's extend these out now, and don't forget to extend the adjustment layer, otherwise your effects won't work. And now if we press play, the effect begins to loop through all these different clips, and we can loop the effect infinitely. Alright, and that's how you make these awesome film tearing effects inside of After Effects. If you found this pack useful, or if you want to look at other packs, go check out the CinePacks website for plenty more asset packs and VFX tutorials. Can't wait to see what you guys create with these effects. Go out there and make some awesome content. Bye guys.